What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioS 3 Raw TV. Well, today we're going to talk about a topic that, if you guys see the title, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to title this yet, but it's going to have something to do with Lucian Bagwell. For those of you that may not know who Lucian Bagwell is, back in 1998, I believe it was, I embarked on a professional wrestling career. So I went through wrestling school. I started wrestling with Yankee Pro Wrestling, YPW, up in New Bedford, Massachusetts. I wrestled with YPW, Power League Wrestling, South Coastal Championship Wrestling. I held multiple titles, tag team titles, interstate titles, through those different federations. And it was not just a passion of mine, it was a dream of mine since I was a kid to become a professional wrestler. That's watching Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage, stuff like that. And the Ultimate Warrior was my favorite wrestler growing up as a kid. And then the British Bulldog and these guys. And I got to live that dream for a period of my life, from like 1998 through about 2001, maybe about the end of 2001, because I remember 9/11 happened and I was still wrestling at the time. So maybe through about 2002, I was actually still active as a professional wrestler. And I'd gotten hurt in one of my final match, I'd gotten hurt. And I wasn't aware that was going to be my final match, right? It was another match. It was another week, not a big deal. I went out there, a move went wrong. I wound up tearing my bicep tendon up here where it inserts into my shoulder. And that was pretty much the end for me. Now, it didn't have to be the end, but the way as fate would have it, my drug problem spiraled out of control. And I had to take a step back and work on myself, let alone, think about other things like wrestling, bodybuilding, stuff like that. I kept lifting weights, obviously, and I just never made my way back to professional wrestling. Now, it's not something I didn't want to do. Something at the time, I went down another avenue. And by going down the other avenue, the way that I kind of do things is I kind of leave what I was doing behind and I focus on something else and give that all my attention. So that's what I did. I went back to competing and building businesses, and professional wrestling kind of got pushed to the side. And it's not that I don't think about it. It's not that I don't think much about it. It's that I guess I never deemed it the most important thing in my life. So I always put other things before it. So therefore, it just wasn't that important to me anymore. Now, fast forward to 2015, I decided I was going to go back in the ring. I wanted to do one last match. This was something that I'd been itching to do, but you do that final match, like when you know it's your final match and you do that farewell match and you leave your boots in the ring. That's what I wanted to do. So I drive out to a ring with my buddy Bob Gendler and a couple other people, get in the ring. The first hip toss that I take, I fucking get a concussion. The first hip toss back in like 15 years, I get a concussion, but I don't care. I keep going. I just fucking keep going, and the whole 3 hours of practice, and I was like, I think I can do this. Like, that's what was in my head in 2015. I can do this last match. Now, again, more shit comes up. I get busy. I'm traveling, whatever. That gets pushed to the back burner. Now, I wanted to do my final match up in New England at a federation called House of Bricks Wrestling. Now, House of Bricks Wrestling was owned by Brickhouse Baker. Mike Brickhouse Baker was my trainer. He was the one that trained me to wrestle. So I was like, I want to retire doing my match for his federation. And that would be like the best way to close it out, right? Well, his federation eventually disbanded and folded. So now there was no place to do that. And I was like, well, I'll just do it somewhere. And a friend of mine who's with Ring of Honor Wrestling, PJ Black, offered up himself to be in my final match. He's like, I'll do the final match with you. Let's do it. That'd be awesome. We'll have a match together. And I was like, that is amazing. Yes, let's do that. And that was about a year ago. PJ and I talked about doing that match. Now, what this whole video is about, I needed to kind of pre-update you guys with everything up to this point, was the quarantine for me, for all of us. There isn't a single person that didn't struggle during the quarantine in some way, shape, or form. That's just a fact, right? But for me, I had time to slow down and finally look real deep into myself about certain things and ponder some things that were going on in my life and direction I wanted. Like, I had time to really get to know myself again. And one of the things that happened while this was happening, the quarantine, was I couldn't go to the gym and train, right? I couldn't go to the gym and work out, so I did these rubber band workouts for 3 months. And I noticed that I didn't feel good. Like, I felt weak. I felt tired. I felt lethargic. I felt depressed. My body didn't move correctly. Like when I walked around and stuff, I felt like my body didn't fucking move correctly. Like I was like, what the hell is going on, right? And then I get back in the gym. I've been back officially this week, 6 weeks. And all of that went away. Like I felt energetic again. I felt stronger again. I went from 189, I'm up to fucking 208 now. So I put on almost 20 pounds in the last 6 weeks. And I feel good, right? And then it dawned on me what the hell is going on. I'm like, holy shit. What I feel like right now, when I'm training, the endorphins, the exercise that keeps my body feeling tight and firm, strong, I don't feel like I'm 44 years old. I feel like I'm 25. And I didn't realize how much of the training, because I've been training since I was 14 and I haven't stopped. I've never taken more than a couple of days off that were scheduled. I've never taken unscheduled days off, but I haven't taken more than a couple of days off or a week that I took off after a show one time. In 30 years, I haven't missed workouts. 30 years. So think about what you do for 30 years and all of a sudden it's gone. Things change a little bit, right? So I really started to realize, I was like, holy shit, I don't feel like I'm 44. I feel like I'm 25. And it's because of the training. It's because of the way that I eat. It's because of doing cardio. It's because of that physical fitness that I feel so good. Like my dad at my age was so much more broken down physically. He didn't work out. Most 44-year-olds at my age are broken down physically compared to where I'm at. My younger brother, who doesn't work out, has had multiple knee surgeries, back surgeries. Like this is why I feel the way I do. But wait a minute. If I take this out of my life and I don't feel this anymore, I feel how I'm really supposed to feel at 44. Holy shit, was that an eye-opener. Like the pain in my back, the pain in my knee, the pain in my hip, the tiredness all the time, the feeling weak. Like that's how a 44-year-old feels in general. That's like a normal 44-year-old. Man, I'm way ahead of the curve. I got 20 years on me still, and I feel like I'm 20 years behind still. Like, or 20 years, yeah, I'm still 25 years old. And I was like, shit. So basically I got a eye-opener of what it really feels like to be a 44-year-old. And the other eye-opener that I am 44 years old, right? I don't feel 25 whatsoever at this point, and I do now. I feel fantastic now again. But it really made me go, okay, that match you want to do in the ring because you feel 25 normally, your body's telling you, right, during this quarantine that, hey, you're not 25. Just like when I tore my pec. And mentally, I felt good. Like, I felt like, hey, this is no problem. Like, 225 for me on the bench is like, it was play weight. Go up to 275, no problem. 315, tear pec. Like, very few people that are able to use 225 for 20, 30 reps are going to tear their pec with 315. But what was happening was I didn't understand that my body truly couldn't handle it. But I felt so good mentally, physically, emotionally because of the training and stuff I was doing. But just because you feel good doesn't mean you are good. Just because you feel young doesn't mean you are young. Like, it's like masking it, which is fine because to me now, weightlifting and bodybuilding is the fountain of youth. Like, if I feel like this because of this, why would I not want to keep doing this? Why would I not recommend this to people that want to feel better in their lives? You know, like, oh, and I just want to have energy. I want to feel better. Weightlifting, you know, technically bodybuilding, that's the direction you go in. It's the fountain of youth. But it really let me know, it meaning my body during the quarantine, that you're not what you feel like you are. You're just not anymore. And there were some realizations. You know, Aaron and I actually sat down and we talked about it. We said, you know, when do we get older? You know, not old, but older. When do we become 44? You know, when do we leave our 20s? When do we leave our 30s? Like, how the fuck did this all happen? Like, I feel like I got up and, hey, today's graduation from high school, and I blinked, and all of a sudden we're getting out of the coronavirus, and everything in between went by so fast that I'm questioning, like, what the hell happened? Because I still feel mentally and basically physically like I did when I was 19 years old, right? I was saying 25 before, but I'm still the same size. I'm well, as of today, 208, but I was 205 when I was 19. So even my muscular size, my strength, like, I still feel young again. But the fact that I'm not really got hammered home during this quarantine while I was not training. I said, okay, reality is I have the 44-year-old body, the 44-year-old brain. I should use that 44-year-old brain and realize that going back in the ring again, although it would be a rush, which is good, and, you know, the young part of me wants to get that rush and that pop and, you know, and enjoy it. And then the other side of me goes, like, here's the deal, man. there's a good possibility you could fuck yourself up permanently. You know, it's not like PJ and you have other friends in the WWE like Sheamus and PJ and Cesaro. Like those guys do it consistently, so they're much more apt to not get injured. You do one match without much practice, just as a farewell match, there's a good possibility that you're gonna fuck yourself up for a good period of time, if not permanently. And that was a really hard fucking pill to swallow, man. That was a really hard realization to come to, that there's something on my life that I want to accomplish, that I've been thinking about for a while, that is now not going to be possible due to age, and I'm past that age. When the fuck did that happen? So I had to say to myself officially, and now I make the statement that Lucian Bagwell is officially dead. He's officially retired. He officially disappeared. The character, the gimmick, me as that character, as that gimmick, Lucian Bagwell, is officially gone as of today. I have to make that statement, which really sucks because, again, knowing that anytime I could come back and do a match felt good. You know, like anytime I could step back into that role and be that character again and have the feelings. And, you know, maybe it wouldn't be like before. Maybe it'd be so nervous because it's all new guys wrestling. Maybe it's, you know, a whole new experience altogether. You know, I don't feel like I used to. I don't move like I used to. I don't know what it would be like. I was excited because I was expecting it to maybe be like it was when I was, you know, in my early 20s. But experience alone tells me that that's not possible, that ship has actually sailed. Like that ship of being a professional wrestler, traveling, doing these matches night after night, and getting banged up, you know, getting hurt and injured and still keep going. That's not where I'm at anymore in my life. And that really sucks. It really does. I'm not going to lie. There's no way to twist it and make it seem like, oh, I'm okay with it. I mean, I have to be okay with it because I have no choice, but like, that stings. You know what I mean? That hurts a bit, knowing that you're beyond, it's not beyond your prime, but you're beyond the scope of doing things that you may have wanted to do in your life before you could do them, and now that opportunity's just gone. I mean, yeah, I could maybe go in there and do some really stupid thing with some light spots, but like, to do a match that would just be like fairly okay or fairly decent for me is in my past. So I just figured I would share that with you guys that, you know, the quarantine wasn't wasted. You know what I mean by that? Some people did fucking Netflix and day drank the whole fucking time and, you know, collected unemployment, and hey, if that's what you did, cool. But my thing was more about, I have time now. I have time to think about my life, my family, my businesses. I have time to go into deep in retrospect. I have time to think about all the things that I didn't have time to think about before, because I can just sit down and focus now. And I think, although there was a lot of stress, a lot of negativity with this quarantine, I think some positive things came from it. And that's got to be a good thing, right? I mean, anytime you can have something positive come out of something negative, that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. So as of today, that I finally announced this, I officially am retired from the ring. Lucian Bagwell is officially gone. Yes, that absolutely stings to say, it hurts to say, but I think it's a must so that I can live the rest of my days comfortably and not fucked up from something that would happen because my ego is so wrapped around doing something I did when I was younger that I couldn't use my wisdom and use my brain and actually do the right thing. So hopefully you guys are doing well. Hopefully this video may spark some thought processes in your heads out there that may make you look deeper into yourself and start to see that, hey, like, it's okay. You know, it's okay to grow. It's okay to get older. It's okay to evolve. It's okay to leave things behind. But here's the take-home message, right? Had I done this match 2, 3, 4 years ago when I originally thought about doing it, I would have been able to do it and everything would have been fine. I put things off, I put it on the back burner, and here I am, it's not going to be able to get done. So I guess the whole take-home message of all of this is, don't put off for tomorrow what you could do today, because you just may never do it. And then you're going to regret it. I'm Biosphera, and I approve this message, and we're out.